I have a question that's hard to ask. What if it feels like I don't love my family members the same way as before? Hi, Gina. Yeah, those sorts of things can happen because as you begin to wake up, you you will begin to realize that love is actually your nature and it's unconditioned. And the love that you had for your family is a mixture of the unconditioned love and what they give you, or what they can potentially give you. It's kind of like conditioned love. And unconditioned love arises through the lack of identification with the person. It's actually your essence. So the more that you wake up, the more that you feel it for nothing, and then everything is appearing in love. And then it's like you love them so deeply and so endlessly for nothing, for no reason. And it's free. It's not based on what they've done. It's not based on what they give you. It's actually true love. And it's not really about them. It's about being and presence. And that's the true love. That's so beautiful. Then the next love is conditioned, and that's where most people are, because they don't know who they truly are and they don't really touch on it very often during the day. They're mostly in the conditioned love. And in the conditioned love, when you get what you want, sometimes your seeking and your personal self begin to dissipate and you begin to feel that unconditioned love, but the mind labels it as personal. The mind labels it as mine and theirs. And when we begin to get into this subject and we begin to change and expand, we begin to see through the games of conditioned love. And yeah, it can have some radical effects, because before maybe you loved someone because they were a good provider, or they were really talented at something that you admired. And then maybe as you get into this, you stop admiring those things. And then you begin to question, well, what is it that I love about this person? And you might also see funky dynamics, like maybe what you liked out of the relationship was chasing them for love. You enjoyed chasing your family members for love. And then when you chased them and you got it, it was like a drug. It fed you, like you get their attention, you get their appreciation, and then it gives you a high and a buzz, and you associated that as love. And as this begins to wear off, then you don't get these highs, you don't get these buzzes, you don't get these approvals so much anymore. And this is when you have to move to unconditioned love. And then what will happen when you move to the unconditional love, you'll still have like the ghost-like characteristics of your old personality. So if prior you enjoyed like making people happy or doing things for other people to get love, you might have that to a lesser extent. So you still enjoy it, but you don't really care about getting the love or not. So you might still enjoy chasing people or doing things for people in order to get love, but it's just got no juice in it anymore. It's also like, so your dynamic might be to be pleasing, but you don't really care. And so that's, and when you're in the middle of that, so when you're waking up and you're not really like expanded to your true self, that can be really confusing, because the other thing was distracting from what love was or wasn't. And now you're beginning maybe to become more bland or maybe more detached. And that's not the final state. The final state is actually to see them in total love as you are, as beingness. Like without past, without future, without anything. They are total love. When I had my this big awakening in Bali, one of the first things I saw was a dog dying on the street, and it was like really skinny, it had no hair, it was just in such an awful state. And to me, because I have very little connection to the personal self, so that when I mean the personal self, I mean the Lisa that could feel sad or could feel sorry for the dog or grief. I was so in the absolute that I just saw it as absolute love and perfection. It was so perfect. Every ounce of its discomfort, every ounce of its suffering, and it felt like every part of God was supporting it. There was nothing to worry about. And you know, that's the absolute love. And you've got to bring it together with the human, but often when you're awakening, you have these extreme experiences to really, really see it. You know, if I couldn't have the human side, you know, then I could do potentially terrible things, not purposely, but just because you don't realize them as terrible things, like just walk past a dog and not care for it or not try to help it because you just see it as perfection. It's like I couldn't perceive anything wrong in that. It was total love. And it's the same, you know, you could get into an abusive relationship if you don't have some connection to the personal self of what the person wants. So you've got to integrate them both, but when you're waking up, you can have these experiences and it comes together. So there's this love, this total love for them that's absolutely unconditioned. Then there's the conditioned love. It's like, okay, I need you to treat me with respect. I need you to, you know, like pull your weight in this relationship. This is needs of the person that comes back into it. Otherwise, it could be a nightmare if you're just totally identified with the absolute. So it's just coming back together. But that's yeah, that's a really beautiful question in a way, because it's seeing everyone in love and then seeing your family members for the first time in that absolute love. Yeah, nice. Thanks, Gina.